Mayan Buntak. Welcome to episode 101 of my Filipino adventure, otherwise known as Watch This Old White Guy Talk for 10 Minutes. It's such an exciting channel. It is a rainy Saturday morning here, the last day or so of March. Is tomorrow April Fools? I'll check, but we're close to it. So I guess today we're going to talk about police clearances. So this is the ongoing saga. We might get a little fluffy hair things going here. We're going about the ongoing saga of Yna and Michael's visa problems. And they're not problems. And I want to thank everyone for the well wishes on my last videos. Yes, it's all going to be worth it in the end. We're going to stick to it. It is, like I said, it is trying on the relationship, I got to say, just to be honest. It is, it puts you on a lot of strain. If you can make it through this, I think there's probably nothing a marriage can throw at you that's going to be worse than this, or at least more stressful. And it's mostly compounded from the distance. You know, so far away. She's got very limited knowledge of computers and very limited access to technology where she's at in Hinobaan. I did buy her a laptop for her family last time I was there, which they promptly broke. And she had to go to Dumaguete and get it fixed, so that's up and working. But she doesn't have a printer. She asked me what a PDF was. I mean, she has no exposure to it. As Americans, we grew up with this stuff. And to her, out in the barangay, it's just all new to her. So and there's no pointing blame or anything. It's just, it's frustrating for me. To me, it's second nature. I said, well, grab the PDF, zip that, or put this in this and mail it to them. And she's like, what's that? I'm like, okay. So you just got to be patient. And I admit, and I'm honest with myself, being true to myself, not proud of it, but I can be a little impatient. I can be kind of a prick, maybe, I think. But I try hard. I try really hard. Not to be a prick, but just to be a good person and to work things through. And so as we left off, now we did talk about the police clearance. That was the whole visa nightmare, but let's give an update. If this is, you're new to the channel. So we're at the stage of the visa. We're almost ready for the interview, but we need to get a police clearance so if you're a Filipina and you're going to go to America, you have to have police clearances of the places that you've lived outside the Philippines for at least 6 months. So if you were a domestic helper in Hong Kong or Malaysia or Singapore or Japan or wherever you went to work, hopefully not Kuwait, because I hear they don't treat them too well over there, but you have to get a police clearance saying that while you were there, you're not wanted for any crimes, you didn't do anything bad. They want to make sure. America is very, very, very strict about this. They do thorough background checks. They don't just let anybody into the United States. So Yna worked in 2014 to 2016 for Miss Wang Li, or some Singapore lady in Singapore as a domestic helper. And when you go there, the agency, you have to sign up for an agency to get these jobs overseas. They handle all the paperwork. They get your visa or FIN number, which is a work pass number, a visa number. So instead of going through and getting a work visa yourself, they handle all this for you. So they probably get less red tape because they're doing it in bulk. So she had this FIN number, but they never actually gave it to her. And sometimes it's stamped in her passport or it wasn't stamped in her passport. So to get anything done, we need this FIN number. So I'm feeling like we did all this already in the last video, right? So I'm just repeating myself and I apologize. But anyway, as we left off in the last video, her worker, the lady she worked for, found Yna's FIN number, or FIN number. Okay, now with that number, finally, now you can go, because the only way Singapore allows you to get police clearances is online, which, as we just discussed, not Yna's strong point. So, so you go online, you have to put your passport number in, and then you have to put your FIN number in, And then you have to put in all your information, where you worked, who you worked for, your name, your address, all this stuff. And you're basically applying to be considered for a clearance. It's not like you're applying for the clearance. You're saying you're appealing to say, hey, I need this. And they'll look this over and see if you're even worthy of them giving you a police clearance. So over this week, she got the email saying, okay, you can go ahead and apply. And this is all the stuff you need. It's like getting a visa all over again. You need a copy of your passport. You need a copy of a secondary piece of ID. You need a piece of paper saying why you need this. In this case, it was just one of our K1 forms. Why are you requesting this clearance? You need a passport size photo. I have no idea why. You need a copy of your fingerprints, a hard copy. So if you're in Singapore, you can bring all this stuff in and get your fingerprints taken there. But if you're outside of Singapore, you have to go to a lawfully designated area. In her place, it's the NBI. Is it the National Bureau of Investigation? Is that what that is in the Philippines? She keeps on saying she's got to go to the NBI to get her fingerprints. So, of course, where she lives, there's no NBI around. The closest NBI is back in Dumaguete, which is 3 hours and an overnight stay. So she traveled to Dumaguete to get her fingerprints. She gets to the NBI and they're out of the form you need to put your fingerprints on. Now let's talk about that for a second. Get used to this in the Philippines. And I have experienced a little bit of it. I haven't lived there myself, but I've spent time there and I see this, and then I watch enough vlogs to see it's just the way things are in the Philippines. You'll show up and you always, it seems like if it's important, Murphy's Law, if it's like really important to you, need it now, it's gonna take 2 weeks because they're out of something. I think Ned at Philippine Dreams didn't get his license because their lamination machine broke. And I think it took him about a year or something to get an official license. He had his paper one. But it's just, he's got to roll with the punches, roll with the flow, relax, be patient. But in this case, we're in a rush. So they say, well, here, you can go to this, I'm not sure if they gave her a file or what. They said, if you want to, you can go to the print shop and print one up for yourself, and then we'll do it. But we're out of the forms. So she goes to the print shop, and it's election time. So she has to queuing up, or what we call waiting in line, for like 2 hours. She has to wait to get this form printed. So she finally gets the form printed. She goes back to the NBI, and they're closed. It's past the time. They're closed for the day. So while she was there, she got a passport photo. She stayed the night. And it was impossible to find a hotel. All the places that we normally like to stay were booked because it's also graduation weekend in Dumaguete, so all the hotels were booked. So she had to stay out by City Mall. I booked her a place at Dino's out there. So anyways, the next morning she goes and she gets her fingerprints. She goes home. I pay for the fee, which is about 60 Singapore dollars, about 45 US dollars online with my credit card. She gets all the confirmation. Is it over with? No. Paperwork. So now she gets a confirmation and a receipt of that she's paid. She's got to print this off, get all that stuff together, put it in an envelope, and mail it to Singapore. So who knows how long is this going to take? And then once they get it, they'll go over everything, do the police clearance, and then they'll turn around and mail it back. And from what I've heard, this process takes about 4 weeks. But, if you do it via proxy, now she's got a friend in Singapore, so she mails her friend, this is from what I understand, I hope this works. If she mails her friend everything, including a letter, oh God, I'm getting old. This is a brain fart. It's a simple word too. Basically a letter saying that her friend can do this for her. Why am I not thinking of this word? just giving her power of attorney in a sense, you know, a permission letter or whatever. And the letter's got to be formatted properly. So she's got to type that out, get this printed up somehow. She's got to go to the town and find a printer and send this to her friend in Singapore. And her friend takes this into the office, the police office, shows her all this, including the letter. I guess she can wait there for 30 minutes or so it takes. They'll come back, give her a certificate, and then her friend can mail it to her. So this has probably cut time down to a week or maybe 2 weeks. Are you guys still there? Are you guys still watching this? I'm sorry. I'm just ranting for 10 minutes about paperwork. So that's where we're at now. We have everything together. She's just got to write out this letter for her proxy, for her friend to go do it for her, and then she's got to mail it to her. That's where we're at. If all goes well, this is really a nightmare. If all goes well, she'll get that back. Then I'm not going to schedule our interview until she gets those papers in her hand. And then she's going to schedule the interview far enough advance that she can take her medical exam and maybe even her CFO class, which you can take before you get your visa. You just have to come back, show them your visa, and then they'll stamp it. Anyway, so that's my update on the police clearance. And that's all I got to say about that. I think tomorrow I'm going to do my favorite YouTube channels. We'll do a whole list, and we'll see what I'm watching on YouTube. And I'll give you an update on my microgreens. So can't wait, huh? I'm sure you're going to lose sleep over that one. So stay cool, stay dry, because it's really rainy out today. And as always, stay classy.